on the July the 21st, I had a subarachnoid brain hemorrhage. I ended up in hospital. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything really. And then after 7 months, I got a shunt in the back of the head here. I know at one point the brain had been left open for quite a while, so it was open up for the brain to kind of breathe and whatever happens with the blood in the brain. And then they put a shunt in. When they put the shunt in, after 7 months of being in hospital, I ended up with the shunt, and it helps me to talk. I had the shunt in the back of the head, and there's tubes attached to it that go down through the back of your throat down into your belly, and then if there's any excess fluid in the brain, it goes down through the tube and disperses once it hits your tummy, and then that's what helps to make you speak. After that, once I came out of the critical part in the hospital, I ended up going into Osborne 4, which is where I was going through the rehabilitation, learning how to walk, to talk, to speak. When I got taken out of the bed and they put me in a wheelchair, they put a belt round you to keep you safe in the chair, but I kept escaping all the time, and it got to the stage where the nurses would put 2 belts on me and the second belt would tie behind me, but I still managed to get out of there. And when I get out of there, I would usually be found lying on the floor with my arms going, "Oh, help me, help me." Be lying on the floor going, "Don't stand on me, don't stand on me." And then after that, I moved to Markham House, which is the rehabilitation house in Bolsover. And while I was there, I was learning to get back out into the garden. And then after that, I get taken out of the rehabilitation house and I get put over to Chesterfield, where I had my own flat. And from there, I still had people coming round to help me out. And when I moved to Chesterfield, I was asked, did I want to go and run round Rother Valley Park for neurocare. And I said, I've only just started walking again. I says, I cannot physically run, but I will walk for you. Well, would you like to do the 5 or the 10? Well, I'll stick at 5 kilometres just now. So I'd done the first walk for them in 2013, and I actually walked it for 1 hour and 38 minutes. And when I'd done that, I was the slowest person in the world. And then I keep pushing myself every day to go out and walk, and then all of a sudden, when I done neurocare walk for them again this year, and when I done it this year, I done it in 1 hour and 6 minutes. Yay! My great hero is Mr. Patel, because Mr. Patel saved me. He brought me back from the brink. Good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all. How are you? Yeah, you okay? Good. Oh, nice to see you. I've come in a little special treat that I've had today. I came out especially to give you this.
Thank you. Lovely.
Okay.
Thanks. Oh, that's pretty.
Thank you.
That's lovely, thank you.
You're very welcome. Listen, be good, get out there, get more money in for neurocare. It's more important, and then there'll be lots of people like me back out on the street again. Okay, have a nice time. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
My name's Corinne and this is Katie, and we're the fundraising team at Neurocare. Neurocare is a Sheffield-based charity, and we raise money for the Neuro Awards at the Royal Hampshire. So all the money that we get in goes on projects, and it basically funds equipment and facilities for the patients and for their families on the wards. So basically our aim is making sure that the patients and their families are having the best possible experience they can in such a tragic time. So that's what we do, and we have met Pauline through that, and Pauline was treated on the Neuro Wards and then at Osborne Rehab Centre, and she's an incredible supporter of ours. She always brings so much hope to our other supporters as well when they learn about her story, so we love her.
Now I go to the WEA, which is, I do Tai Chi. I had done some creative writing, but wasn't very good at it, and I done painting. And from painting, I was in a black world. Everything that I done was black, and I even painted a galaxy for Mr. Umang Patel, my neurosurgeon. And now I'm into colours. I do hills. I can paint hills, water, the sky, the clouds, the sunshine. It's getting there. When I went to do the 5-kilometre walk for Neurocare, I had been speaking to the artist in this class here who's teaching us, and it's this beautiful Karen Davis, and she came along and she done, what did you do? Massage therapy. And you had a table there, didn't you? Yes, and you were helping everybody that's been, and they've done the run for Neurocare. And this lovely lady came along and helped as well. So thank you very much.
My blog started yesterday, right? And I've got a whole week. I do day by day on how I feel, and I've got pictures on it as well. It was great. So we put it on last night. I look gorgeous, by the way. People that follow it from, there's a Monsieur Philippe Reynaud from Lise, I can't remember the French name, but it's outside France, and he's some kind of psychologist kind of person at university out there. Also, it also goes to South Korea, and my friend's father is a professor in university out there, and he follows what's going on as well. There's a lot of really, really good people following this. As I want to do, like you're doing just now, a documentary, because if I do little clips, because there's so many people that have suffered from strokes, and especially the stroke, people are stuck in a chair, people have to walk with a stick, which I do. There's people who find it very difficult to speak. Myself, I have aphasia, which means that the words are here, but can they come out here? To begin with, it was very wibbly wobbly and it was all over the place, and that's why my blog is called Pauline's Blob, because I was trying to speak but it was getting a bit confused. You just got to do what you can and try and help everybody else come out of where they are.
For the family, I do believe that the family came, my mother came down from Scotland, everybody came, I had family from Leicester and family from the Merseyside, Glasgow, Dunoon, they were all there for me, and in the end they ended up renting accommodation so that they had their accommodation every week to come and be there.
So are you okay, Polly?
Yeah.
You sure?
Pauline, let your random side out.
I am.
She's not working today. She's done another side away from everybody. Away from everybody. Well, and you as well. In fact, you could all a bit miscad. Are you going into a room without licking or something like that, or what? Really, some things are really bad for me. Things are going really bad and I'm saying all these mad things. But that's all right, it'll take a while. You had, for 8 months, you had pressure on your brain. For 8 whole months. Your brain is just kind of like going, now that all the pressure's away, and it will take a few months for everything to slip back into place. Yeah. Patience.
So don't despair.
There will have to be something. Something will have to come.
Yeah, it will have to be done.
If I were you, I would enjoy this right now, because in 3 months' time you're going to remember that you're related to us.
And you might not be too happy at that.
Maybe you're going as well. They're all going. They're all going.
Keith, it's nice to see you again. So how are you feeling these days?
Very well done. Very
Right. Now, just now, what the college, Chesterfield College, is doing is they're doing a documentary about how you are after a trauma. When did you have your trauma? What did you have?
2003, I had a stroke.
Uh-huh.
It was 11 years
Uh-huh.
in a week's time. So
Wow. I was away at my brother's in Merseyside, Alan, and Alan asked me to read The Miracle. And I said to him, what's it all about? And he says, you have to read it. And I went, but what is it? What is it? I'm not telling you, you have to read it. So I actually took the book and I went, all right, okay, all right, yeah. And I went, oh, right, uh-huh. So I started reading it. Now, when I started reading it, look at the space between that. This is from one line to another. You're reading one line, and in the second you've got a space, and then a line, and then a space, then a line, then a space. It's giving the brain enough time to take in and digest what you're putting up within the brain. Whereas if I look at Stephen Booth's book, Already Dead, every line after line, there's too much information for the brain to grasp and digest. It's too much for me. So now I've decided, when I looked at this miracle book, and I thought, that's my story. That's my story, but it's not my story.
Hi, we've come down to Hallamshire Hospital today because I thought maybe I could have 2 minutes with Mr. Patel, but he's a very, very important man and he has had to go and help at the other hospital. So he's got a lot of stuff to do today. So hopefully we'll catch up with him another time. But now the rain is starting, and the lights are on the Christmas tree now. I've been upstairs and I spoke to Jane Sugden. I handed in all my Christmas cards to wish them all a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we can get them another time.
when they showed the stroke,
Uh-huh.
that wasn't how it affected us. How it affected me,
Uh-huh.
anyway, because they said first your face goes and you talk, and it doesn't happen like that to everybody.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes, like me, I stood up, fell down, and I didn't come down, ran for 3 or 4 weeks. I was awake,
Uh-huh.
but there was no recollection there at all.
See me, I was in bed,
Yeah,
and then that was it.
yeah.
I was out.
And that's, sometimes it does happen the way they said, but
Very quickly.
very, very rarely.
A little birdie told me that you'd done an abseil.
Yes.
Now, where and when was it? What year was it?
We did it in Chesterfield college.
Oh, where we are now.
Yes.
Right.
And I think, not swear to it, it was about 5 years ago.
Wow.
And I think it was 100, I think it was 120 foot.
Wow.
We sailed down. Right from the roof,
Right.
right down to the bottom. I had a little bit of hand. Because,
So-
there was the professional abseilers,
Uh-huh.
and they was holding the rope.
Uh-huh.
So
They
I
weren't
could-
going to let you go.
So I could have let go of the rope, and they
But somebody else
they
had you
was
hanging on, right.
hanging on that from.
Was it, what was it feeling like inside when you done it?
It was marvellous. It was marvellous.
It's like
But-
you're flying up in the
but-
sky.
but
Oh,
it was windy, no.
wow.
Me partner, who did it as well. She was a Jenny was a stroke carer,
Uh-huh.
but the wind took her round the corner.
Oh,
And
is she
that's-
okay?
Oh yeah,
Right.
she was okay because she come back a minute later.
Right.
and
Thank goodness for that.
We raised 15,000 for the stroke association.
Superb, absolutely superb.
But,
We should put our heads together and do something else then. Maybe.
well, if we can. I wanted to go on whitewater rafting because I reckon
Ooh.
if I
Hey, that scares me, but I maybe do it.
if I was on left hand side of the boat and folks had stroke on opposite side, so they could go on right hand side of the boat, and we
Well, you could do the left hand side and I'll do the right hand
right.
side. Why not?
That's,
Let's go for it and do it.
yeah. So-
Where would we do it though?
well, I don't know where they do it now, but
Scotland.
well, I don't know about it's Kelrup, Scotland.
Yeah, but we could do it in the summer.
Yeah.
We could think about
Yeah,
it and
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
get lots of people behind us on this.
Yes.
Who would we do it for?
We do it for
Half for you and half for me.
Yeah.
I would do for Neurocare. Who would you do it for?
stroke.
Well done.
One of the other things when people are struck down like that, I was explaining about coming here to do the interview for this day that James done, right? And when that happened, I was explaining to everybody at the specialist stroke services. I go there every week, and when I was telling them that I was coming here for an interview before, I was explaining to people what it's all about because you wanted to spread the word. And when that happened, one of the gentlemen who doesn't speak and he's got the stick, I was explaining because I know his brain is working, and as I was explaining, he had a pen and a bit of paper and he's writing on it, and as soon as I finished telling him the story and he wrote down and he went, talk to me. People do want to talk, but nobody listens to them, and everybody should listen. It's a sad place for you to be left and you're hanging about. Everybody needs a bit of help. Everybody needs to understand what we have to go through. When you're down, and how many people are going to help and bring you up? There's not very many. But we'll get there. I will push everybody through.
I was taken out with my son in a wheelchair, and as I was getting pushed along, do you know what I done? I cried. I didn't like the feeling of having my son having to push me in a chair, and it upset me so much because I thought, what's happened to me? Because I still wasn't very aware of what had happened to me. But see the thought that you're stuck in a chair, it wasn't very nice.
It isn't very nice, and the same as you said, you were stuck in chair, and I was stuck in chair as well, and we've got to make people more aware of because I remember when we was going not long after I'd been released from hospital, which I say not long, I was in 4 months in hospital, and then I was 3 or 4 months, whereas I was left to my own devices before I then started going to the hospital again on day release. But we was just going through town, and it's not just strangers that are unaware of the trends. They sometimes they think, because we've had stroke, and sometimes we can't talk. Obviously you have to train yourself to walk and that again, but I was going through town and I'd see somebody as I knew, so fairly well known, and
But do you
we'd
not?
go through town and we'd stop and talk to them, but they wasn't talking to me.
Because you've had a stroke.
There was, because they thought, because I couldn't talk, that I was somehow brain damaged. I was seriously brain damaged, so they talked to my wife instead. When they said to her, say to her, to him, and I will see you. I've been sat there 10 minutes. Nobody's
You're
acknowledged me.
not the only person
Nobody
that this has happened to.
acknowledged,
It's
but-
happened to lots
But
of us.
it's because people don't know. Because we're still the same inside. We're still the same inside, even though we can't tell people about it.
You've still got your sense of humour inside.
yeah,
You're still the same
yeah,
person that
yeah,
you were
but-
before.
but
people look at you differently because you've had a brain injury.
Because we appear different. Before I had stroke, football, rugby, running. Now, after I had stroke, I couldn't do it, but it's still there in head. It's still there in head. So, but they treat us different. I'm as guilty as everybody else, because I now work for a living. I'm self-employed pub landlord, but this even the doctors and nurses don't know about strokes, seriously about strokes, as you are. But when I was coming out of the hospital, I was spoken to by my what do you call him, main man.
The neurosurgeon.
Well, it was something like that. But he says, right, 2 years, you're not going to get no better. I'm 11 years since I had stroke, and I'm still getting better.
It's a long journey.
For 2 years, anytime I went out, was in the wheelchair. But it's that minute. What you're doing, folks don't realise, unless it's like I might see you in a year's time. Now you'll notice then how much better you're talking. But we don't notice when folks are with us all the time. So they just
they miss the magical
Yeah,
bits when you're
yeah,
actually
yeah,
achieving
yeah.
something that you couldn't do for a long time.
Well, that's it.
It was the same as myself because I was 7 months in hospital before I had the shunt in the back
Yeah.
of the head,
Yeah,
and then once I had the shunt in, it took basically another 2 months for me to
Yeah.
start to learn
Yeah.
how to talk.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realise that when you've had any kind of a stroke, your stroke was different from mine, but they were still a stroke at
Yeah.
the end of the day.
Yeah.
But we all take a different path to try and get back.
yeah. The people, they just don't realise it.
Well, maybe, hopefully, other people will learn that it's not just age.
It's
it
not
has
just
happened
age.
to
It's not just age.
young people. There's lots of young people that I know now that have all and are still
Yeah.
suffering from a stroke.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully more people will be aware of it now
Well,
and understand what's happening now.
yeah.
So anyway, thank you very much. Great.
I'm getting there, and I just want to be able to help everybody. Everybody should need to, if the vocal cords come back, help somebody to talk better. Don't discourage them, don't speak down to them, talk to them like they're proper people again. Don't, even if they're in a chair, don't talk to the person behind you, you talk to who you want to talk to, even although they find it difficult to express themselves to you.